Shochet, you want to lower your camera a little so we could see the. Okay, fine. I don't want to be much real. I think it's better. Okay, I just want to start the conversation. We all know what state Klor and Shulchan Aruch lefneim ve'elam mishpatim ashatasim lefneim v'lo lefnei akum, and ki'ilu chida forgive that says terrible things. So the obvious question is sometimes it's difficult to get a person, your opponent, to listen to Bezdin. So I know you're going to talk in Pashtus about going to court to freeze the money if that's allowed, and then force him to come to Bezdin. Fine, but I want to just because it's a fresh item now. Everybody, all websites are making a fuss that a frum lady in Eretz Yisrael got a very big position in the government. Or in New York, I mean, you live in Toronto, but in New York, there's a Baba V'Chasidista who is a judge, a secular judge. In Australia, there's a Lubavitcher Chassid who's on the Supreme Court, who's a judge. If they would ask Rabbi Schochet first, if you're allowed to do that, what would Rabbi Schochet say?
First, the question is not on them. The question is the one that go to them. Are they allowed to go there? A person can say his opinion that he feels this is justice. The question is if the person can go to them as a dain. If they are allowed to go, that is a question.
Yeah, but we know. I know as far as Rabbi Menashe Klein says, you're not allowed to be a jury because you're not allowed to show support.
Yeah, because you have the cause, you have the Sayyid,
right.
But let's ask a person a more basic question. What does Shulchan say? In what case can you go to a cause?
A bully.
The question is how can he go? The Torah is not allowed to go. When I have nothing to eat, I'm allowed to eat chazer. What's the matter?
So that's
Shulchan Aruch said the Bezdin can give her a shoes. How can the Bezdin can overrule the Shulchan Aruch?
Okay.
Anybody wants to try?
Because when Bezdin gives her a shoes, it's as if Bezdin is judging the case.
When they give her a shoes to eat chazer, it's also Bezdin basking. But they're not allowed to pass on that.
No.
So what anybody has an idea? Furthermore, there is actually in certain places the minhag that they go into a kois. The community has the minhag to go to a kois. There is Rab Refuel ben Rab Mordechai of Ankara. That is 5,608 in the city of Sale. What? No, that's one of the first halachas. When you look in the Noise Kelim, it doesn't make a difference. In certain items, it makes a difference if the goy is a oibed avodah zorah, but not in a course. Even when the goy is not oibed avodah zorah. We say in general, the goyim today is not necessarily avoid avodah zorah. Still, you cannot go to them. Why cannot? The reason is that is the greatest bizoin. What is Torah? Torah is halacha. And the greatest bizoin is when we have the law, we are the master of the law. And we go to a goy. That's Torah. That's the whole Torah that they gave us, that in this case you have to go to a din Torah. And we go to the goy. So the question is, what will the heter from a Bezdin to give you permission? Will the Bezdin ever give permission to eat chazer or whatever? To Bechal Shabbos? We had certain items.
It's like Bezdin Hefke, maybe.
What?
Maybe it's like Hefke, Bezdin Hefke. The Bezdin could.
The Torah doesn't give permission to Bezdin. Where would the Torah give a heter, for instance? The Bezdin have a heter, I can tell you, by Bikuach Nefesh, you can be Mechal Shabbos. Why?
Because the Torah says B'chai Behem.
The Torah Shmart is Nafshe Seichem.
No, but the Torah
Here.
says B'chai Behem.
B'chai Behem, Shmart is Nafshe Seichem. That's how we Dam Recho. But why is what is over here? Here also we have a posuk. What is the posuk? Efes kiloye bechoevyon. We have to that's in the end of the Torah. Efes kiloye bechoevyon. The Torah is chas hamemoinu shel Yisrael. So therefore, in a certain circumstance, we have a esse and a loisese. The esse is the only thing is odom korov etzatzmai. You cannot make yourself the judgment because a person always judges not objective when it comes to himself. So therefore, their business to give him the prayer. Certain cases is in the poskim. In fact, I wrote for the Bezdin Lubavitch is a heter when, for instance, the Bezdin doesn't pass. By losing money, the business doesn't pass. Delay. There's a choidim that said that in that case applies. You can go to a choice. There is a limitation when you go to a choice. What is the limitation? What is when the bezdin didn't possess the choice passing false? Apidin is not like this. Obviously, you get back your money. You can go to him and ask him to give back the money. Also, what is when the bezdin did give you permission to go to a choice? There is other claims. What is other claims that you learn in Shulchan?
Claims of how much it cost.
Right. That means he made you expenses to take a lawyer. He made you expenses, the court cost or whatever, and that is not unnecessary. This you can ask back for this money.
But if he did it without rishus, you can't ask the money. I think there's a Ramah that says that if Masha Osa, and he went and he was koife the guy, I'll be goyim to come to Bezdin, whatever it was, you can't demand expenses later.
Here we have certain limitation. For instance, when the person went to a kois without reshus from Bezdin, and now is charote, comes to Bezdin. What is the locha then? What does the Ramah say?
That ain't his cooking like he went.
Ein is cooking, very good. Ein is cooking like. What means ein is cooking like?
What does it mean? We don't listen to him. He can't go now and go to
We
Bezdin.
ignore it.
Sure.
However, there is stuck in Obadiah Yosef. There was a lady that went to a kois, and then she came to Bezdin, and he paskened. He says, why? Not everybody is allowed. She didn't know that you're not allowed to go. But women doesn't know. She did this justice. So therefore he says, then it's nishkoken. When the person was a shoygik or whatever, was other circumstances, then he's koken loy, verkehrt. We give him credit, he goes now, at least he goes now to Bezdin. What is when the Dayanim are Jews? You mentioned before, there is Dayanim, Jews, from Yidden, and they are justice. Can you go before them?
No.
Why?
State glory to hate because you cannot let them go, even if they're Jews.
You cannot go them. That's correct. You cannot go them.
Can you go to an Israeli court or they're not?
No, actually, the Israeli court is like a kois.
It's a course because they're not done within Israel.
Yeah. This brings up many problems. Anybody of you is a lawyer? No lawyer here. What is when you're a lawyer? Can you defend the accused in a kois or not?
again, going back to your of Torah Chosam Amanis Yisrael, you got to protect the Jew.
Rabbi Schochet,
That is
Rabbi
correct.
Schochet, I'm going to
Yeah.
answer based on the Ma'aser Rav. I know that your own son is a lawyer, so you must have gave him a permission. You gave him the heter.
Yeah. However, a lawyer has to learn special Dinge Shulchan. When two Jews come, Ribis, you cannot charge Ribis. According to the law of the country, you can charge Ribis. A Jew is not allowed even to be instrumental, the secretary, to write the star on Ribis. So then there is nowadays, it's very complicated, not only for a lawyer, also for a doctor. What is complicated for a doctor? The law in America is when a woman comes wants abortion, the doctor, even when he doesn't do the abortion, he is to refer it where she can go. Obviously, a Jew cannot do that. It's murder. It has very similarity because when a lawyer cannot tell to the client, go to a case, when you be yoyetz him to do, then you are over. You
say it's over, Rabbi Schochet. Ki not so anoshim v'nogefu isha hora. He only the pasuk says ki not so anoshim v'nogefu isha hora yotzo yilodea. It was b'shegeg, but it's not ritziche because he only has to pay. No, why would abortion be ritziche?
Because the child is not a bakayomo, or because it is the Rambam gives two reasons. It's not a benkayomo.
So it's not
what?
It's not murder.
It is murder for a goy, not for a Jew.
Yeah.
Since for a goy is a murder, therefore we make by a Jew too. The goy is chayim misa. Therefore we make by a Jew too. But this would be today a civil rights lawyer or whatever, or anything. In this, as I say, be it in a court case or be in a doctor case or whatever, is big problems. There come other problems, even in Schite now. Just now, they demand that you know anybody who is Schochet?
Stunning, yeah. They demand stunning.
They demand stunning, but when they even in America, they don't demand stunning. But what does the Schochet do? After the Schite, he cuts the blood vessel. Why does he cut the blood vessel? The meat shall not be bloodshot.
And also,
it lose the value.
They don't like it when it's mefarches too much also.
Yeah. Nowadays, they now came out new thing. The Jew shall wait 1 minute or 2 minutes before he quits the thing, which can be a big hefset, whatever it is. So we are involved. We live in a goyish world, and there's many problems. But the main thing in the daily way, in the daily life, you have a car accident. What is the first thing? The first thing, this guy says, I'm going to sue you. What is suing it? Of course. But here comes also an interesting thing. Actually, there was a case with Lubavitcher, David Pape, his daughter. She had an accident, and in a store, she fell or whatever. And she went to a course. Then and I told her she can go to a course. So the Satmar Bezdin called me and said, I gave permission to go to a course. So verkehrt von Alochen. I told him, the Rosh Bezdin from the Satmar Bezdin said, when it is an insurance case, when you go insurance case, you don't go to the court, they don't pay. So in a short case, you can go direct to the court. That's a responsibility.
Is that like Ovid Inish Dinel and Afshe? Something like that?
No, actually, that's an interesting thing. We have a halacha that all them oyster din the nation, or we have also called the almikvar. If look by is not a core, it's called the almikvar. Called the almikvar, I can use my strength. That's my strength. But they say the noise kelim say clearly, it's not allowed. It's not allowed.
Yeah, but other Maisa Nasa Din Latzma, he has to be 100% certain that it's his. In an insurance claim, there's always settlement.
By also Odom Dina Atzmoy, you can hit the guy. You see, as you watch, you can hit him. The only thing when somebody sees it, he can sue it by the bezen. And you have to give it back, I think. Because as far as we see, Nas for the Arab Abo, what is the case? To fasti, we did to fasti. But you have no edis, that's what's yours. So therefore, the business has no choice but to take away from the guy that took it to make it also Dina Atzma. So when you also Dina Atzma, you should do it when nobody sees it.
Right. Then you have the Migo also, if you did it without Edom.
Migo depends. There's a case in the Gemara. What is the case in the Gemara? Who knows? Gofi Melochish, he bent down. He came with the guy in the business, and the guy, the Loive said, the star that the Malve has is Mezuyev, is a fake. But the Bezen was became the star with Aiden and awarded him the money. After the Bezen passed, the guy said to the Bezen, Rabbi Isa, I want to tell you now a secret. The MS is Take forgery. However, I have a good star, and the Ganef took it away, therefore made a forgery. But he took owns money. Now, this guy, what does he have? What does he have, the guy? The guy has a good Mige. What is the Mige?
He could have put him back.
Didn't say anything.
Mige the boy Shosik. The strongest Mige is Mige the boy Shosik. Mige the boy Shosik. So why don't we believe him? And Mige, usually believe the guy. We don't believe him. Exactly what the Gemara says. Because the whole thing is based on this star, and the star is Chas B'Balma. That's what the Gemara says. Good. Remember the Gemara? Sure, you remember the Gemara, yeah?
Yes.
Good. It's always important to remember.
Rabbi Schochet, if Yisrael is a Rosh Hashiva, mekanim is wegstufen.
Oh, I didn't know that. Pleasure.
All right, Rabbi Schochet would like to have questions. Now we have a couple of lawyers just came out. I see a lawyer, Rabbi Wernick, put on your mic and you want to ask a question. Fine.
Yeah. So sometimes a person doesn't want to go to court to get a pasak. They want to go to hold something so someone can't spend or sell something while they, while they deal with the case. So when could you do that and then possibly go to Beis Din to resolve the case?
Okay, let's put it this way. The guy will run away. I will never see him again. And I go to court and take out a lien, a cease and desist. What is it called?
Equal, no?
Yeah, but in the English, what is it called?
Please.
Suspendence.
What?
On a building, they call it a list pendant.
A lien, a list pendant.
A restraining order.
Restraining order. Now, I didn't take any money from him.
David, not to do it, to stop him from selling the books.
Yeah, it's the economic. There was a market, and that is a very interesting thing. In every book that you buy for the Yiddish Yibud is what does it say? It's also the Hatvis, Belushus from the writer. The question is this effective or not? First of all, you build here, and it says the fee, the dinim from the goyim. The fee being din teure. So the question is, Is he allowed to do that? Is it a binding, what it says there or not? What do we think?
I think so, because tonight you're making mominous is good.
No,
No?
it's not good.
All right.
You cannot ask for something that's not yours.
That's right.
When he sells it to you, whose book this is? See his book? It's my book now. I paid it for. Therefore, the Bar Ilan and the Otzra Chochma, whatever, they made the author provision. Very interesting. When you read in the introduction, you don't buy this software. You rent the software. It remains the guy remains the owner. When he remains the owner, then I can answer my thing. I can answer you. I can answer you to come in my house and say Yechi. It's my house. Then when you say Yechi, my house, when I answered you, then you're over the reise. I had a here a Schochet in Toronto. That can you say Yechi? I say when you say again Yechi, the head sholiach asks you to say Yechi, then I answered you Shchita. Answer you Shchita. So this is not a matter just of Tnai, it's a matter of Bailes. The question is, however, the Tzemach Tzedek has a true there about this. There is actually a very wonderful book about copyright, a sefer. Brings all the days there and all the opinions. The Tzemach Tzedek is very makel. The Tzemach Tzedek says, even when Rabbonim can make a cherem, Rabbonim have the power to make a cherem, but they can only make a cherem in their territory. They cannot make a cherem in the whole world. So he said it's not effective. Then it's also a question.
Also with cherem that Rabbeinu Gershon by the Sfardim, it was effective everywhere.
What cherem from the Gershon? Cherem from Gershon is the general cherem that you're not allowed to read somebody else's without shoes. But as I say, mentioned before, when you buy a book, it becomes yours. Unless the person remains the ownership. In general, you have to know, in order to be a chosid, what do you have to learn? So, what do you have to learn?
Evan. Always Nezikin. Brachas and Nezikin.
Nezikin, right, Nezikin. Why Nezikin? Why not Brachas? Why not Orechaim? Number one, that's the greatest Yitzhak. Atzabeim Kesed Bezov. That's the biggest thing. When it comes to money, you see a religious guy will also lose it very often. Gets angry or whatever when it comes to money. A chosid is not a bruto that doesn't belong to him. That's very hard because our Yitzhak, our feeling or whatever, it's very hard. Never in money, it's very thinking. Especially it's hard when a person says everybody does it. Everybody does it. Furthermore, we have also what is other din, what we have in these matters. Dine de Machuso, Dina. Does it apply, Dine de Machuso, Dina? What is your opinion? Let me ask you the question. It is a Friday, soon Shabbos, you go with the car, the speed limit is 40 miles an hour. Now it's because soon Shabbos, I'm allowed to go 100 miles.
Is only in a place where it's not menaged to dinner the Yisro.
Now, the Dine de Machuse, when it comes speed limit, is for the Teuber from the citizen. So the applies Dine de Machuse. It's for the Teuber of everybody. What?
The speed limit is to protect life.
Exactly. Therefore, it applies for everybody.
you'll have to make a chakira mitzad adin. Are you allowed to go over and pay the ticket?
Oh, that's the thing. But here, the whole Isser that they made with a limitation. They say when you speed 100 miles, you pay $100,000. So when you see Shabbos, it may me worth more than $1,000. I break the law, but the law is only $1,000. So I go fast, or I park right now, non-parking zone, but it's a matter of money. It's not a criminal offense. It's a civil, so whatever you call it. So that would be there. I can make I can say I take upon myself the
Are
punishment.
you saying that it's the dinim of America considered the gather of dina de machusa dina? Is that
The what?
That's
The-
also controversial.
The what?
Is that
I didn't hear.
also that the dinim in America, the laws is considered the gather of dina de machusa? So
Yes,
it's the whole
definitely. Yes. And that is very, very, again, very tempting. The food stamps and so on. And many people cannot overcome the nisoyan, and they figure they have a big family. And they have other chisoynes in the matter because kashrus cost more. They have to pay for education for their children. So they be matter themselves to go with the thing that the government cheats me too. Why does the government cheat me too? Because they give the Catholic school, they pay for the schools, the building or whatever. So since they steal, I steal back. But it's not always called. The Rebbe spoke once about the Melamdim. When they go out after the Shiur, go out in the street, go to the telephone booth and make a person-to-person call. Ruf mich. Call me. Ruf mich. That means that he says it's they make it's a gneva. Actually, my brother, Rav Shalom Emmanuel, when he went a trip to Eretz Yisrael, the Rebbe wanted to see his Yoiman that he wrote. So in the Yoiman was that he cheated the Elal on the weight. You know, he put it up, the thing. So the Rebbe says a Jewish company. It's gneva. So he went to Elal and told them that the Rebbe said they have to pay you.
But if it was the Goyish company, it would have been a different halacha.
When it's a Goyish company, we don't have to be necessarily mehader. What is when everybody does certain things? For instance, you work in an office and everybody takes home the pen or the pencil. That means the company itself is lechatchila moichen. They expect it. A chosid would be takesoyer. Would not want to do. Why should they do it? Be careful.
And the government is different than a company.
Now, in the government itself is what is there is exception on Dina de Machusa that you don't have to listen. When don't they have to listen to Dina Machusa?
If it's connected to of course.
And not only it's negative, it means not negative. When they make a law special for Jews, Jews have to pay duty. The Goy doesn't have to pay duty. That is not justice. There they can be, when they can get away with it, you can break the law. If they make a special law only against Jews, that there you can break the law.
Oh, in all the times that there were raids of Yidden in the different countries throughout the ages, and Yidden had to escape and falsify documents, etc., and bribes and government officials.
There was Pikuach Nefesh.
Of course.
That's obviously Pikuach Nefesh is Doiche Shabbos too.
We have a din that if a Yid has a din udvarim with a Goy, and he goes to court and says a double butter that the guy is wrong and a zok nishdamas, that it's a mitzvah to go to be matzel him in court.
Yes, so.
No, I'm saying that is one of the ways that you can go to court.
When it is a Chilul Hashem, what is a Chilul Hashem? There was an accident, and they saw you were sorry, you saw it, and they called the court. When you don't go, you don't do what justice in the thing. So therefore, in that case, you should go and say witness. Because on the other hand, when it is with a Jew or whatever, there we have already complication. What is the complication? The complication is that the din Torah is api shnei eilim. They pass in api eidechot. So the din is not a din. It's a false din.
But isn't it the insurance company? We said that before. Since it's the
I
insurance
say
company.
the insurance company is lechatchile gestellt in that sach. And the Jew doesn't pay. Insurance pays. And they made a contract that in case something happens, they will pay. So it's not you don't go now with a Jew in court. You go with the insurance company.
Is there a difference? Is there a difference between going to Arkais or going to arbitration that's not Jewish? If an insurance company, using your example,
You're not let it go to Arkais. You're not let it go to Goyish arbitration.
Actually, this is a daily matter when there is a dispute between a landlord and a tenant. Where you go, the tenant acts. The court. What is the matter? Because when you moved in this neighborhood, you agreed on the condition on that neighborhood. For instance, in that neighborhood, the air conditioner can only be that loud. When it's louder, you can sue him. Because he doesn't let you sleep. When you go move in the neighborhood, you have the right to sleep like everybody else. That is the neighborhood. You have a right of the protection and this, whatever. So therefore, in that case, you can go to court. Because that's an agreement for people who should analyze what was the agreement. Or there any other question?
Rabbi Schochet, does it ever happen a case where Bezdin, when the case is in Bezdin, and Bezdin says, this is above our pay grade, it won't settle here, go to court?
Of course.
Yeah, when they would not go to the Bezdin.
Yeah, I know that. If they went through, I know a case of somebody at Gesetzen Bezdin, and suddenly just shifted. You know what? It's not going to end up here. Go to court.
Yeah, okay. You have sometimes cases, and they say, Rabbi said, when you don't pass the gate, I go to court. I sometimes say, go to court because I know you will lose in court. Because they think in court they have a mate. They have verkehrt. Give me a thing, but it is the shot is. It is not binding what the court says. It's not a psak. It's not a psak. But in certain things, especially when it comes to title. Title is only who decide the Gemara says. In title, we trust their choice. We trust the other things also a choice. We trust in a cause when the military say the person died. Matter the wife. And general information. And you have it you have it right way in Yoredeya. What is Yoredeya? Ekfelo. What is Ekfelo? Ekfelo is an expert, and he says the taste is a taste from Isa or not. Why do we believe him? Believe it. The more is Chosek. Or Mashiach Levetuman. It's actually a contradiction. So that is, you learn all smicha, no? So this is what you have there. No, any question?
Stay here. This is the time to ask the questions.
Yeah.
Any?
I have a question. With regard to, we were learning Hilchos Dayanim, we learned that someone who gives a loan to another Jew with ribis is Pasal Dayanim. However, if that person is making a loan on behalf, as the fund manager, let's say, on behalf of other investors who aren't Jewish, he's just managing their money, he might not be Pasal Dayanim.
No, when to a Jew is also, even when you the secretary, even you the typist, to type up the document that he gives ribis is prohibited. It's very difficult to halacha, but this is halacha.
Going back to what somebody asked me, what Rabbi Wilhelm asked before, if you know that if it's such a case, Rabbi Wilhelm, that you can't be mevarer exactly, the Bezdin cannot be mevarer what the halacha is going to be. There are those that hold that you can go to if you can't find any bikiyim, you can go to court.
Again, in not a mevarer is different interpretation. If we don't know if he stole it or not, and therefore we bring goyish detectives. The detectives is the same as we trust a kveler. You can trust a detective too. There is no interest. It's Mashiach Levetuman. Even that's not considered kois. That's to be a bureau. Or as I mentioned before, a deed. They say my property goes still there. We took away my property. There we go, they find out in the court what is exactly the thing.
I was involved in a case where there was a din Torah, and that person had getained that it was not my kofel, but the contract had a tnai in it. And in Bezdin, darf noch paskenen wie Chukei Yisrael. What is your take on that?
And not everything needs a tnai kofel. Not everything it needs a tnai kofel. Was you see in the Neuse Kelim, they said where begin with that tnai, or it is obviously, for instance, when you sell your house and tomorrow you have charote, but your charote is based because when you sold the house, you figured you go there to soil. And they canceled your visa. The mecher is bottled. You get back the money. Because it's obviously...
We discussed this last year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. Remember
what are the practical applications of an ilim? What is it?
For the ilim is a strong man that uses his power. Be it because he's rich and people are afraid of him, people are influence of him or whatever, that's considered ilim.
So if an ilim, if you're trying to take an ilim to Bezdin, and he's not budging.
First of all, it's nageya to Hilchos Dayanim. A dayan can say, I don't want to take this case. Why? This is a Roshe, and I'm afraid he will hurt my children. They don't have to take the case.
Then what do you do?
If he's hired by the city, that says he can't.
A difference, yes. Then he something has to do, but when the city recognizes they cannot protect him or whatever, then he's spotted.
What is the underlying? I know we have the pasuk ve'el mishpatim, why you're not supposed to go to Akum, but what is the underlying? What is the problem? I mean, if two people want to go and they agree to go, they could go to a head.
I told you that what is Torah? Torah is halacha.
Yeah.
That's the whole Torah. The Torah consists of halachas. And now you go to Akum that is spoke contrary to the English law was in certain way based on the Jewish law. So
why can you go? Why are you allowed to go to a guy to collect, or to go to a guy to chas v'shalom hit?
Rashi says because you show their religion is better than our religion.
Like a Chil Hashem. It's like a Chil Hashem.
Yeah.
That is the Chil Hashem.
Yeah, but to ask a guy, to tell a guy, go man from Shimon and give him klep, tell him if it's getting the geld.
That's not even going to a course.
That's going to a guy.
A person is not allowed to hire a guy to hit a Jew. It's extra law. It's extra law.
You need to hit him yourself, Tzemach. You can't hire a hitman.
You can hit him yourself, and when what? When you know he has your object, and there are no witness around.
We didn't learn in the earlier Simanim that he's allowed to hit through a guy.
To a guy, you're not allowed. No.
Also, in his dinner than Ashay, it states you can't, but you can't do it through a guy. Is that only a kais, or what if you're not even fighting with the person? What if you're getting a guy to help you sneak in to take your thing? It's also an Indian not to use a guy.
Again, you can rely on a guy. Can you rely on a guy? For instance, you rely on a guy all the time. You ask the doctor, Stine Nefoshes, what's my healing? I said, Goy, why do you ask a Goy? Maybe if you asked after a Jew. You ask a Goy about your health. That's not a Goy's. That's expertise in certain fields. The same as can go in expertise in other fields too. When you want as the shki or whatever, is a mathematician and he knows very good to figure it out. You can ask the guy. It's not a course. It's expertise. And that is very interesting. Everybody remembers the Gemara from Rabbeinu Kodesh. He suffered on the ice and went to a matrunisa, and she gave him a medicine. Then he asked her, what will you do at Shabbos? She said, I cannot tell you because it's my secret. He said, I will not tell anybody. I swear. She told him the secret. And what did he do? On Shabbos in Shul, he darshaned. That is, when you are sick in the eye, this is the refuah. So the Gemara asked, was it Chil Hashem? He said, no, before Shabbos, he told the guy, I'm going to be fasten. You have no monopole on medicine. Then what is it called? Fitzel, what are they for Corona 19? They say that we don't give it out, that's illegal. Knowledge belongs to Cloud. Your own knowledge. There is a halacha, when you have a sefer, nobody has the sefer. The best and forced to lend it to somebody else that they need to not learn the sefer.
You mean like intellectual property?
Intellectual property. That is also limited. What is when you have a little black box? What we know what a black box is?
Could you charge for the sefer?
You could charge, and he has to be careful, or whatever. But you know what the black box is? Television has they charge you money for watching the programs. So there was an illegal box in which you can, without paying, you can watch the TV that you don't pay for. First, is a question: is this gneiver or not? What would be your opinion? Is gneiver?
Really? You're just accessing.
I mean, they invest. They make the wires and everything.
But you're accessing frequencies, airwaves. You're not stealing anything by much.
So you can say the airwave come in my shoes. It's in my house. I didn't go to you. It's in my shoes.
I just put a receiver to catch it.
But this
According
is
to Rabbi Wilhelm, if you're lowering the frequency by putting more demand on it where it makes the other guy's reception poor, then that's Geneva, maybe.
Oh, their share has a
actually
frequency problem also.
you have a president in the Gemara. What is the president?
Simcha, you got to put up your face. We got to see before you start quoting Rabbi Wilhelm. We want to see who you are.
So we're not the only share that has frequency issues. Okay, just good to know.
Hillel HaZoken, what happened with Hillel HaZoken? The lochs the Beis HaMedrash. They say if you pay, when you come in, you have to pay. What did he do? He went under the roof to listen. Was this Gneiv or not?
They're not allowed to charge for China, the Rambam Paskins. It's only for the seat or for the base for the heating inside.
And nowadays it's changed, it's a lot. Because you would not give Melam Rosh Hashivas, Melamdim, when you don't pay them. So therefore, what is the posuk? Eis lasat Hashem, efiru telasecho. Eis lasat Hashem. So therefore, they all the clay kodesh, the charge. But you can get.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If you need to get Rishus Bezdin, you went to a Bezdin, you were masking somebody, and he doesn't come. Can you go to another of other Bezdin to get Rishus to go to a cause? Do you need a Bezdin, or you can go to a single Rav? What is the din here?
That's a good question. The question is here. One Rav you can go, one Rav you cannot go. So how do you do?
Yeah, but nobody said, they just don't want to give him permission for, they didn't say he can't go. They
don't give permission, the Shulchan Aruch applies. Cannot. But they also said you can go. So in general, we have an outlook. This is a bigger person, a bigger Rav. So go by the bigger Rav. In fact, the Meiri says, when the Torah says, Achrei Rabim Lahatos, what means Achrei Rabim Lahatos?
Majority.
Now the question is, do we go by quality or by quantity?
I would say we go by quantity because Sanhedrin has Zekanim and it has younger ones.
But they were all chosen, they were all great. What is actually what Yosef was a dinter in Egypt? He said, I count like two because you're Yingler. But they say the Meiri and the Ramban says we don't only go by quantity but quality. Therefore, you have a thing. We cannot argue on the Rishonim. The bigger. Ein Besen Yochel Levatel bis Tifre Besen Shechaveiroi, eine im kein Godel Bechochmo Beminyan. So when a little rabbi on a small town or whatever, that they learned a few years in a yeshiva, and he passed, and obviously you have to know what you can rely on, but you cannot rely.
What's the Isser? What, in other words, what kind of Isser are you over with our kois? It's a deraisa?
Yeah. Rashi is the only place where there's a Chil Hashem. Chil Hashem is when you degrade the honor of the Torah. The Torah gives all the halachas, and here it goes to a goy. What does the goy know? The Torah was megalel you, the rotten alien. What is the halacha? But the Oibisha wants to be the halacha.
Rashi says, afilu if they have the same din, and they have the same din in this issue. It's still a chilul
No.
Hashem.
Yeah, because their dinim, even they pass in the same way, is not based the Oibische said so. My seichel tells me. That's a chiddush. You rely on yourself, not what the Torah says.
I think the Tashbitz holds it's an Issa Deraisa to go.
That's what he say. Leave name and leave neakois.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Dr. Grossman, no question? No question? Come on. Give me your best shot.
No, I'm fine. I'm just enjoying this. This is terrific.
You're in Hilchos Dayanim. Come on. We have Rabbi.
Incidentally, what we mentioned before about Aedis. That is negate each one of you. Because you go to Chasanas, and by the Chasanas, they ask you to be Aedis, the Tenoim, the Ksubim. So you have to know if you're kosher. Always when I have Eidim, I tell them the first thing Eidim have to do Tshuva. Do Tshuva. But by Eidim is when you're not a kosher Eid, the Eid is not working. Therefore, you have right in the Choshe Mishpat at the beginning, you say this. Depends in all the thing, in the reliability, in kashrus. Can you rely on this kashrus or not? This has to be kosher Eidus. Eidus is very important. Kosher Eidus.
Rabbi Schochet, I'm wondering about in today's Beis Din, practically speaking, how it works when two Yidden, Chas v'Shalom, bring a very complicated case, a dispute about money and contracts and buildings and real estate, that it's beyond a normal Beis Din to understand exactly all the nuances of how this works and who might owe and what the corporations can expect from each other. Do they then recommend this out to a secular court and they say this is just not in our wheelhouse, or do they try to bring in secular authorities to help them figure it out?
Okay, let's say two guys come to this. One owns a house and the other is a painter. The householder hired the painter to paint his house and said, I'm not happy. The Rabbonim are no painters. Can they judge it's a good job or not a good job?
But didn't we learn that if the Beis Din is not sure, they could always send it to a higher Beis Din?
That's true. But in this case, we don't need a higher Beis Din. They are experts. They are painters, expert painters that they're in the trade. And they're asking, this is a good job or not a good job? They're not Dayanim, but they in their expertise, they can judge. It's a good job or not.
But if you have a Shtibel Rav who doesn't quite know about painting versus Kved Rav who has experienced many years where these situations surely have come up, wouldn't it be more appropriate for the rabbi to first come to a Beis Din, and if the final, the supreme, the Beis Din Agadol says we don't know, then you should take it to the next step?
You know, actually, what this is the first Mishnah in Pikovas. Heve mesunim badin. What means heve mesunim badin? Be careful.
Yeah.
But the Beis Din can always ask the help. In many cases, there was a case with Rav Moshe Feinstein. If for a goy asked him, a goyish professor in England, there was the Siamese twins. And what was the question? Who of the Siamese twins to kill? That the other one should be lived. Who is the Roidev? Rav Moshe studied this and probably asked also doctors or whatever. And then he gave a decision. The surgeon listened to Rabbi Moshe. In many cases, to help expertise, a Rov is not always an expert in every field.
But the experts, I'm sorry, I didn't ask the question. I believe it was
I asked.
but a Rav, who's paskening here? The painter or the Rav ultimately?
The painter gives the Rov the information. not avoid the person. He says a bad job. When it's a bad job, that doesn't mean the other one doesn't have to pay. The next question the Rav will ask, how much will it cost to fix up the mistake that he made? The job was $500. He says, if you fix it up, it's $100. So he said, the Rav said, you have to pay him $400.
So this is the most simplest way you look at the case, but the case I'm saying is when you do get something complicated between from Yidden, and only the most experienced attorneys in real estate law and corporate law and all kinds of things like that can explain even what's happening. What is does the Bezdin bring them in as witnesses and how you?
The Bezdin would learn sometimes. You have to learn a new field, a new expertise in order to be able to pass. The same as, for instance, by food. In a kosher. The expertise is, does it have the taste from the non-kosher or not? Is it what or not? So the Rav is not the expert. For him, everything tastes the same. So you ask your expert, a Goya expert.
Sure.
And
Can the other side bring an expert to support his case as well?
You can also bring it. You can question what the Mechen dan Tuni.
So practically speaking, if the Bezdin can get the two to settle the dispute, they're going to keep plugging away, and they're not going to say, whoa, this is like, I don't understand how this works. They'll just bring in more and more people to explain it in a way where the Bezdin can rule on. They're not going to let go of it. They're not going to say,
I give you an example. When electricity came out, there was a dispute among the rabbi if the electricity is a meloch or not on Shabbos. Tuning on the light is a meloch or not. Or on Yontif. Today is also the question. What is the question today in electricity? The LED lights. Is this a deraise or it's only the Rabban? What's enough kamine? Bishas a tchak or whatever. Or for a choile, what you should use. So therefore, sure, we have to know, we have to understand. A Rav has to know chemistry, science, physics, all this is to know. That's very simple. Simple question. You're not allowed to carry on Shabbos. Is carrying a balloon considered carrying or not?
That's not a simple question.
I was about to say,
but it's a common question. Every child gets a balloon.
Or a shochet, that's a simple question. That's a Gemara cup.
What?
The balloon is noises atzmai. The chai noises atzmai.
Yeah, but you move it. Therefore, the Bnei Levi, they put the Milo on the shoulder. So that's what they made the carrying. It's considered carrying.
A helium balloon or a regular balloon?
A helium balloon.
Helium balloons, it's floating.
But if the string isn't taut, then you're over on carrying the string.
But the balloon carries the string.
That's right.
They say that a dog. I was told that.
Right. When it's a long string, it's considered carrying.
It's what?
As long as the leaf doesn't drag on the floor.
Yeah, as long as.
But you see, there is so much thing to learn, and a person has to know physics and chemistry and all this. When it comes to law, you know, that Teure, there is the Vilna Gaon says a yat in Chochmes or Umos Oilom is a yat in Teure, because from this can depend many halachas. And especially something very serious. Very serious is, what is if a cancer, a cancer patient, suffers greatly? Can he take away from the medicine in order he shall get out of his suffering or not? Or, ask different, can he refuse to take the medicine?
Yeah, he could refuse painful treatment, but that a cloud.
No, it helps him. It helps him. No, but it's helping him. But
Enough.
he wants to end his life. That's the idea. He wants to.
I think you have to suffer in this. We had a student, a retired doctor, that dealt with hospice. He told us the whole thing about it. He instituted even in Eretz Yisrael. They should do, the machine should even go off every 30 days, need to be reset.
That's right. Because he cannot cut it off.
Right.
He used to come to us till COVID. He would come every day to learn by us. He was a big mumchen.
Which book schrijft about it? Temporary halacha.
Right.
Who is it, Meshachaba?
Refuah ba'halacha. The name of the sefer is Refuah ba'halacha.
No, that's the other sefer. But the temporary halacha is other sefer. Contemporary halachas.
Right, contemporary.
What? Do we ever have these days, Taka, when they say the Bezdin could be Simon on a Isha or Eid Echad because, the Daite Noite, like it says in Simon Tesvav?
Actually, there's a halacha in the Shulchan Aruch that in case in the Weiberschuh, the women are believed. Because otherwise they will hit each other.
But it's
also in the case of Aguna, I think, of Aguna. Of Igun also, there are places.
Igun also. Some are not believed, but Negiah, whatever, Etzora, whatever. But otherwise,
it says, but do they do anything else? Like, let's say they say there was a clause in the contract. You believe the woman. She's it's your daughter, your sister tells you this was written in the contract. You're allowed to believe her?
First of all, a woman can be a Toveya. It's not Mitzat Eidus.
Like it says that you could do if Daita's night, but now it's a schema that we don't do it for like you have Cheshvua or to make someone lose their Chazaka. So I'm just trying to wonder, when do we do it? Is it left at all or only like Aguna and stuff?
We have nowadays the Botadinim, they don't let you swear. Because they take it easy. Even the Tzvereters, Shua Hashem Yebeneim. We don't swear because we don't trust the people that are going to take the truth.
That they shouldn't destroy the world.
They shall not certain things they were mevatel. The whole mitzvah. There is still mitzvah today. In what case what's the case to the basic mitzvah today?
What?
Where's mitzvah?
In what case did the Bezdin kill the person?
It says if it's a pirza, they could even do
or a mosa.
Yeah,
can kill.
Ruslan is given inish din and avshay.
Or a roidef.
Right.
Yeah, that's a din in Yeridea.
Yeah.
If you can't be in Menatza with Evadav.
When you can matzah with Echad Meivorov.
Yeah, you could.
Okay. I see.
I have a question. I have a practical question. Can you write the secular date in a star? You write today is October 20th.
Yes.
Right? And everybody you see it, and everybody would know what the date is. No questions. Can you is
the same as you can write your name in English. It's identification. Nobody cares. So we don't. Some Rabbonim, some Retanoim had a ship or whatever, a picture, or was the signature.
Right. Like Rav had a fish. Right.
Yeah.
Rabbi Schochet, there's a dayan can't be shikar, right? There's a halacha can't have shikar. What about drugs that enhance the mind or the opposite that make you slow? Is that could that be mefasel dayan or make it?
The Rambam of Simchas Torah that you can't be if you drink you can't.
It depends what is paskening. Isser v'heter or is paskening mominus.
Taka, yeah.
I think we lost Rabbi Schochet.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, he's still
what?
there? Oh, he's there.
That's a sign I have to stop.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice, Aaron.
it was a pleasure meeting you.
Rabbi Schochet, I want to give you a yashikoyach. I know Yontif was Yontif is a full Yontif. I appreciate it, but we tried to do this before Yontif, and we're very happy we got this. And next time, Rabbi Said, is two next times. First of all, the Dayanis class is scheduled to get grilled from Rabbi Schochet next week, or whenever you're ready. Once you hand in the written test, and everybody else went through a couple. But next time we have Rabbi Schochet, I think everybody should be prepared with questions. It's like stump the rabbi, but not stump the pulpit rabbi. Stump the real rabbi. You know what I mean?
But we say about Yontif. Yontif for me very difficult. Simchas
Yeah.
I stayed till 2:30.
What do you mean?
They come for brachas.
Everybody comes to brachas. So
Yeah.
give us a bracha.
They
So give
gave.
us- What's
So,
Mirzaine Mappel, Kinder?
no, chas v'shalom. I bench each one of you shall be the Rebbe shall open your heart and your mind to learn Torah, be'avo, be'yiro. And that is the whole thing. If name alone never kois, they have the respect for the Torah. For each halacha, it even looks a simple halacha, whatever, we have respect. Very often a person is done. That this is it's not so gefährliche halacha. Every halacha is very built on thinking, with foundation and whatever. It's very important to the respect Torah. Respect Torah. Otherwise, I wish you all what's noch in your learning. Baruch Hashem, you are in good hands. Rabbi Wilhelm is an expert in this thing, Baruch Hashem. He's already for many years. He's expert in give out good payers, and I wish everybody we should also give out payers like Rabbi Wilhelm. With payers.
All right.
But for this you have to learn. You did have to learn a few more years.
Amen.
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 Ihr soll sein gesund und stark.
Amen.
Amen. Positive. Thank you, everybody. Okay, we'll keep in touch. Thank you, everybody. Geschmack.
Shabbos, Rabbi. Good Shabbos.
Oh, we have a good Shabbos.